What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Triple M Boxing Channel, your source for all your boxing needs. This Friday, this Saturday, we are blessed with back-to-back night of fights. We'll touch base on Friday night, the anticipated rematch of a rematch. Serrano versus Taylor, number 3.
Man,
Man,
at this point, I don't mind seeing a fourth fight. The two fights that both of these ladies brought were probably fight of the year contender, and they just leave it all in the ring every time they fight. And I don't see why they won't do it the third time around, man, and maybe the fourth time around. I think these two ladies are. You can argue they're top 2 pound for pound. I said that it's gonna be a good night of boxing. Friday night to set up for Saturday night. But what do you think? Because this is an all women card too.
yeah,
Crazy.
it's
Live on Netflix
literally,
too. Every time I log on
yeah.
Netflix, remind me. I'm like, I don't need no reminder.
I'll be watching,
Yeah.
I honestly think, man, like whoever wins this fight, I think they should just end it and move on, to be honest with you. Like first fight, amazing. Second fight, beautiful. Third fight, I think this is like it's do or die for both two women. Like the past two fights, they literally put it all in the ring. And they're going to do it again this Friday night. But after this fight, whoever the winner is, I think that should just be strictly the winner. No more fourth. I don't want to see what's after a trilogy. Quadology? I don't want to
Yeah.
see no quadology.
Pacquiao Marquez type.
Yeah, just end it, to be honest. Once you win, that's just end it. You're the better lady, in my opinion.
I mean, Katie Taylor, quote unquote, won both fights. So I mean, if Amanda Serrano wins, really, it's still 2-1. So I think that should be it. But like I said, if they do a fourth fight, I'm there. I'm gonna watch still. Like I said, I don't expect anything less, and I think any of us boxing fans expect anything less for from these two ladies come Friday night, because they'll put it on the line again.
To put on a show, that's for sure. Now, Saturday night, man, I'm extremely excited about this card.
Great card.
Oh, great card from start to finish, all the way out in Louis Armstrong Stadium, Queens, New York. The main event of the evening is Hamzah Sheeraz versus Edgar Berlanga. But before we go into that, man, this whole card stacked, absolutely stacked, man. Who should we start off with? Shakur, Alberto, Morel, Mohammed? Man, let's start off with David Morel, man. David Morel versus Katayev. Katayev.
Yep.
What do you think of this fight, man?
I think it's a good fight. I think this is a good comeback fight for David Morel. It was a close fight. It's not close, but he had a good fight against Benavidez. I think this is a good stay busy fight for him to get back in the ring. Just kind of get his feet wet. I think he's still a threat. At 175, he's still a big threat to all these big names. And I think, this is just one step for him to get back on it. I think there's a lot of big fights for him. Canelo obviously, not Canelo. Benavidez is now the champion. We still have the two, Benavidez and Bivol. We still got Anthony Yard that's fighting David Benavidez. Callum Smith, Lyndon Arthur. There's a lot of names that Morel can get in the ring with. And I think, like I said, a victory Saturday night will get him those names. Maybe not a Bivol, maybe not a better Bivol, because obviously those two are fighting. But I think he's still in the mix.
Yeah, I think so too, man. But I just hope David Morel takes a few lessons from his previous fight with Benavidez and brings it into this fight. Because, man, if we see a replay of what happened and David with Benavidez versus Morel in this fight, man, I think he better just drop back down and wait and just conquer that division. You know what I mean? That's what I think, man. Now, the next fight, man, Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias. I'm extremely excited for this one. Why? Not only does Alberto Puello kind of look like me,
I look like Subriel though.
but man, you know these two guys. In my opinion, I think this might be fight of the night.
It could be, if
Hopefully,
with
hopefully.
Subriel Matias in a card, it's always exciting. This guy comes forward, he brings it, and he's gonna throw 1,000 punches. I think, with his last two performances has been a little mediocre. He lost to Liam Paro. Um, and I think this is a good for someone that's not gonna say been losing a lot, but someone that has losses previously, more currently. He's been getting a lot of title shots, so this is another chance for him to get a belt. Puello is a tough, bigger guy. He does love to fight, and he does have a good chin as well. So I think this will be eye catching. A lot of this will be the fight that the fans would want to watch, because these two will put it. We'll punch each other in the face a lot of times. Let's just say that. I hard to say who's gonna win, because Subriel has been, like I said, mediocre his last few fights. Puello has been doing okay. So I think just whoever comes in more prepared will be the winner. And if I were to put my guess, and I really want Subriel Matias to win, just because that's a bigger fight. Although if Puello wins, I wouldn't be. If you win, I wouldn't be surprised either.
I for me, man, as much as I love Matias, like I again, this is my opinion. I think he's a one-dimensional fighter.
It's true.
Shoot me now. Shoot me now. That's just what I think. I just think Puello has the skills. I think he is gonna. He's not gonna put out Matias, but I think he's gonna definitely win by
He
decision.
he does have the range. If he can
Yeah,
use it properly, it'll be tough.
yeah. So that's my verdict there, man. And the next fight, which is kind of interesting, kind of interesting, and
This
here's
is
the reason why: Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda. And the reason why I say it's interesting, and I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but Turkey's been saying, oh, he's going to be in for a surprise, a smaller ring.
I think that's
Is it
illegal.
going to happen? I
I
don't
don't
think it's
think
going to
so. No,
happen.
you can't, because that means you have to do it in all the fights, unless they
Yeah.
change it just for them. I don't think so. That's, I think Turkey's just promoting the fight, but he's kind of odd the way he promotes fights. But that's
Yeah.
him. He has the money, so we can't say anything. But the fight is happening, man. And I think he just what he meant by smaller ring is because Zepeda makes the ring smaller. This is a tough fight. I'll start because I've always said Shakur is one of the skillful guys in the 135. Could be more skillful than Tank. However, I think Zepeda's style will be a nightmare for him, because Zepeda, one way to not beat a boxer but make a boxer work for it is it's pressure. We saw Maidana do it to Floyd Mayweather. Obviously, Floyd won, but hey, that was a tough fight for Floyd. Um, Better be a B-roll, super close. Um, this is no different. But I think if Shakur pulls through and wins in a dramatic if he pulls through a good win, I think that'll just solidify that he is one of the most skillful guys in the division, if not the most skillful guy in the division. Because Zepeda, he's like a Subriel Matias. He will punch 1,000 punches, the whole fight, and regardless if you push him, you push him back, he's gonna keep moving forward, and I think that's gonna be a nightmare for Shakur. But we'll see what happens, and I'm really interested in see how Shakur handles the quote unquote storm in William Zepeda.
You know how he's going to handle it?
He
By
can't run.
running away from the
He
storm. That's what's
can't.
going to happen.
He can't. That's the thing. See, this is the thing. It's not no Edwin De Los Santos, man. But hey, if I hate to say it, if it's a boring fight, obviously it's going to be Shakur. I think that's one way to do it, is for him to make it a boring fight. But I think Zepeda is skillful enough to actually get in there and make Shakur engage.
And that's what we'll see Saturday night, man. I really hope we get that, because if we can finally see Shakur fighting in a firefight and he comes out victorious, I'm literally gonna take back everything I said about he's a runner, he just pot shots every now and then. I'm taking it back.
I hope so. Because, from the Shakur that we know against Valdez, this guy, he comes forward, he doesn't get hit, and he still punch you back. That's the Shakur I want to see. And I think if he's on top of his game, he's going to do the same thing to William Zepeda. He's going to be as sharp, still slippery, but he's still countering and still throwing his hands, letting his hands go. And I think that's the Shakur that needs to show up, or the Edwin Shakur. But for him to get bigger fights for Turkey, I think he needs for Turkey to give him bigger fights, because he wants Tank Davis. I think he needs to be the Shakur that we know. And I really, really hope that Shakur turns out. If not, he's going to be in for a long night.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. Now the main event of the evening. Hamzah Sheeraz versus Edgar Berlanga. I'm excited for this fight, man. And the reason why is, I'll be honest, I'm not that big of a Edgar Berlanga fan. Hamzah Sheeraz, though, on the other hand, skill-wise, I think he might take Edgar. I think he has the edge, man. I think he has the edge to take Edgar out. Well, not out, but to come out victorious.
Well, we got to remember that he's moving up. Hamzah's moving from 160 to 168. He's been a skillful, quote unquote, powerful puncher at 160, but we don't know at 168. Edgar is a big guy. He was way bigger than Canelo when he fought him. Probably walks around 190, 200 pounds, damn near heavyweight. But skill-wise, I do agree Hamzah Sheeraz has that. However, quote-unquote, experience-wise, Berlanga's been there with Canelo. And that's the argument that you can make, because Sheeraz hasn't been there with anyone. I think Berlanga will be the, you can argue Hamzah Williams, maybe. Adames, it was a draw. But I think Berlanga will be the biggest name. And it's going to be a main event, so I think it's going to be a tough. I think it's going to be a tough night. I'm with you. I do want Sheeraz to win, but it's going to be a long night. Berlanga is powerful. He has a good jab. I think he's improved a lot. Not a lot, but a little better. He does have that big venue or big atmosphere experience. And he's at 168 where he's comfortable. I know that these guys are gonna throw, and I think the first one that gets hit clean will be the one that's gonna lose. But if I were to put money on it, man, I'm have to go with Edgar. I do like to see, like I said, I do like to see Sheeraz win, but this will be a tough fight, especially at jumping up from 160 to 168. But we'll see. We'll see Saturday night.
One way to find out, man. Friday, tune in live on Netflix. Saturday, be prepared. There's a lot of questions that's going to be answered. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. That was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah,
let us know what you guys think. Do you think there's going to be a fourth fight between Serrano and Taylor? Do you think Hamzah Sheeraz is going to come out victorious? Do you think Shakur is not going to run this fight? Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, we're the opposite of in.